would you say are the barriers to an organisation addressing these problems?
I think really at the moment it is fear of the unknown is too extreme, but it's not knowing enough about particularly virtual reality and what it can do, because it is still, you know, for many organisations, a relatively new technology. For other large organisations, we work with Shell, BP, DHL. They've been doing this for years. So it's not new technology, but I think the perception with some organisations is quite new, and therefore there's a fear of that new technology. You know, there's I read a good book, or I'm reading a good book called Crossing the Chasm, which is how sort of, you know, you move through different phases of technology adoption. And the reason it's quite a challenge when you have a new technology is because people don't really have a benchmark to look at and to go, okay, well, we're replacing our content management system, or we're putting in a new VPN or whatever. People kind of, well, they get that because they've got one. When you have a really new technology, be it virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, whatever, you then get into a phase where the phrase that I thought was really useful is discontinuous innovation. So discontinuous innovation is basically where you don't really have a reference point that you can kind of go, oh, okay, well, this is an upgrade, or this is a new one. It's like, well, I don't have anything to benchmark against. And the example that was used was, you know, continuous innovation would be, you know, if you wear glasses, you buy a new pair of glasses and they're lighter or they're stronger or the lenses are better or something. That's kind of a continuous innovation. And then where also then sort of is still continuous is, well, you might try contact lenses. So it's different, but it's basically, you know, glasses without, you know, you're putting them in. So you still get it. But then if you jump to laser eye surgery, that's just like, whoa, you're gonna basically put a laser and, you know, put some incisions in my lens and solve the problem that way. It's like, oh, that's discontinuous innovation, because it's that kind of jump. And particularly, you know, virtual reality is that, because there is not like, oh yeah, we used to do it like this. It's like, well, this is just new. And therefore the challenge you have is the technology gets adopted quickly by innovators, but it doesn't get adopted by, you know, kind of the early majority, the guys where there's really going to be traction, you know. And that's the challenge, is getting from innovators through to the early majority and giving them the sense that this isn't new technology that's going to pop up and disappear, or, you know, new technology they're going to implement and then, you know, not work properly. So that's probably the biggest challenge. And from a marketing perspective, you know, what the marketing function could do there is give the proof points, you know, get the case studies out there, get existing customers talking about what they've done. And, you know, and then suddenly the early majority are like, oh, okay, well, if Shell are using it, wow, it's, you know, they're not going to just be going out on a whim and using technology that is unstable. They've obviously had a look at it. So you then give that, you know, early majority the sense that they're not getting in over their heads, and they're not going to, you know, suddenly catch a cold and really be, you know, cause problems to their organisation by using the technology.
Yeah, I guess it's confidence, isn't it? Kind of confidence in trying something new. And that's a great analogy, like with the laser eyes, because it's so true. I've got friends that have had the laser eye that was so stickler for their contact lenses, and I can't go to laser. Oh gosh, now they've had it done, they see life so differently. It's amazing.
Yeah,
such a great analogy.
Another good example is 3D TV. So obviously, you know, we had TVs back in the day before sort of, you know, high definition. You went to high definition, and then in between there you got the 3D TV, which is, you know, an analogy I hear used a lot about new technology, and it really didn't work very well. So, you know, but that was a discontinuous type innovation as well.
Yeah. Well, I always used to think like virtual reality was like, you know, like on the headsets with the gamers, and kind of that's my not, you know, it's only recently I've done a few little projects where they've used virtual reality, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know you could do this. I didn't, and the impact it had.
I mean, it started. I mean, it's still huge. You know, its biggest market is still gaming currently. Enterprise is catching up, but yeah, I mean, it started, you know, within the gaming sphere, and all the amazing games you've got out there at the moment, like Super Hot and Beat Saber, which is the most famous one. Yeah, I mean, it started from gaming. PlayStation, you know, came out with their version quite some time ago, about the same time as Oculus came out with theirs. And those are, I think that's still the biggest selling headset is obviously is for gaming. So, but if you look at what you can do in gaming, you can be in a completely different world and interacting, picking things up and doing whatever will, you know, why not, instead of it being, you know, running around a medieval castle killing trolls, why not that be putting someone, you know, in a, you know, medical environment where they're having to interact with the equipment and the patient. So it's quite a natural progression from, you know, the level of immersion you get when, you know, gaming. Why can't you use that for creating scenarios that are either impossible to create in the real world because they're, you know, there's something like a, you know, a fire or something, or you know, expensive to create. So it's quite a natural evolution from the gaming environment through to, you know, simulation for training.